Big talking point since the first test in Perth was how Australia's top order batsmen would fare here at the Adelaide Oval, batting under lights against Jasper Bumrah. And well, today they have passed their first test. Sam Jordan here from 9 News, joined by Deb Brady from the Age Game. There were so many questions around Australia's batsmen coming in. This is a good result for them tonight.
Yeah, absolutely. We had an instance for a couple of minutes where the lights went out at Adelaide Oval. Marnus Labuschagne and Nathan McSweeney, it's no overstatement to say that they've kept the lights on for Australia in this series. The fact that they were able to get through tonight, the pink ball moving around, muggy conditions, perfect conditions for the ball to move, for Australia to be 1 for and basically halfway to India's target, that's huge for this match and this series.
Exactly right. 2 nights ago, Australia had its only night-time training session here at the Adelaide Oval ahead of the Test match, and it was Nathan McSweeney and Marnus Labuschagne, the only 2 to bat under lights. They've been close friends for a very long time. Nathan describes Marnus as a mentor. How much, or how important rather, is it for their confidence, their own confidence at the moment, for different reasons, to have had this nice tonight?
Yeah, well, they're definitely in it together. I will also mention Usman Khawaja. He survived 35 balls, and he basically got right to the end of Jasper Bumrah's first spell, and obviously given what we saw in the first innings of the Perth Test, that was pretty important as well. But yeah, Labuschagne and McSweeney, it was interesting to watch Labuschagne. He was very proactive in the nets this week, but he made sure that he was not going to get himself out to an impetuous shot early on. He was going to make the bowlers bowl to him, and eventually they did. He started to get some runs through the leg side to get himself going, and then we had that really interesting tussle between him and Mohammad Siraj, when a beer snake went across behind the sight screen, as you might expect late on a long day at Adelaide Oval, and Mohammad Siraj wasn't very happy with that interruption, and Labuschagne cuffed the next ball to the boundary through gully for 4, so that felt like a real psychological win for Australia.
You know what, I might just jump in there as well. That was one of the great moments of the day too. 50,000 fans here at the Adelaide Oval. That's the 4th highest for a single day in Test match cricket that we have seen. Now, look, we're speaking about the confidence to both Marnus and Nathan McSweeney as well. Dan, what does it do for a team that's been struggling for runs at times as well, in terms of lifting their spirits for the rest of the test?
Well, it means as a batting unit they're now into the series. Like they really didn't play a shot until the game was pretty much over in Perth, and Travis Head got some runs. So that means they've got a foothold in the series now. They also know that if they can get through Jasper Bumrah, then they can get their rewards from some of the other Indian bowlers, and you can see that in the economy rates of Bumrah versus the rest tonight, and that'll be something that they'll be wanting to drive home tomorrow, hopefully in some fine conditions.
Dan, you made a comment before we started filming about the fact that the difference between day 1 in Perth and day 1 here in Adelaide was Australia digging. Well, they've certainly done a good job of that, and also because of just how well Australia bowled today too. There was certainly the thought coming into today that this was a toss that Australia wanted to win. They didn't, but their bowlers made it work.
Yeah, there was a little bit of a sigh of anxiety almost around the ground when the toss fell Rohit Sharma's way, and there was certainly a sense that maybe India might get away in these conditions. But Mitchell Starc struck with the very first ball of the Test match. He's got a little bit of a habit of doing that, swinging the ball early, and he got a lot of swing today with that pink ball, and he's got a terrific record with it in Adelaide, as we know. And it was a pretty good ensemble effort. Scott Boland came in, made a really big contribution. Could have had a couple more wickets really, like he gave one away with a no ball. Usman Khawaja dropped a catch. There was one that went down Nathan McSweeney off Rishabh Pant as well. So Australia weren't 100% in the field, but they kept creating chances. They kept bowling it in the right areas, and quite often it was the bounce that surprised the Indian batters and got the edge.
It was a big variable in that first innings we saw today. The bounce wasn't in as well. There was so much talk rightly around Jasper Bumrah coming into this test. Mitchell Starc with a pink ball. Wasn't he just absolutely outstanding? It's such a weapon for Australia.
He's become a really genuinely three-dimensional Test match bowler. Since he's mastered not only being able to swing the ball, which he always had in his armoury, with bowling that scramble or wobble seam to move the ball across a right-hander or into a left-hander, and all the while his accuracy is improving. We saw him bowl magnificently actually for New South Wales in the Sheffield Shield against Victoria early in the season, and he's really carried that through. And really only kind of game circumstances, I say second innings in Perth, saw him not be able to have a real impact in all 3 innings of the series.
That's exactly right. Look, one other thing as well that was spoken about by some commentators in Perth was body language in the field. There's been a real look around this Australian team all week. There was certainly a look of determination out there today when Pat Cummins, the skipper, of course, removed Rishabh Pant. That was a roar from Pat like, you don't often see. They seem really fired up.
Yeah, it reminded me of a few moments during the Ashes at Edgbaston and Lords last year, actually, where they were really in the moment, in the contest. There's a little bit of something performative about that, wanting to show the world or show even maybe some of the commentators how much they care. But at the same time, this team they have a quiet determination about them. They're not a big sledging or verbal team, but they know how to impose a presence on the opposition through getting wickets and getting around each other.
The platform has been laid for day 2 here at the Adelaide Oval. Dan, just finally, the big question for Australian fans watching this video is, what do you want to see from them tomorrow?
I imagine they'll be wanting to bat for as long as possible, and if they can get through to the ninth session tomorrow with a lead, that will make a huge difference in not only how this test match goes, but the rest of the series.
Well, it's certainly a party atmosphere here at the Adelaide Oval. We can see the patrons going home behind us, and they will be back tomorrow for what is going to be a huge day of cricket, a huge day for Australia in this series as well, in the Border Gavaskar Trophy.